The film opens with an intense MMA match featuring Case Walker, a skilled and powerful fighter. He's determined to win using all his techniques. His dominance in the ring is evident, showcasing his superior combat abilities. However, his coach advises him to hold back and end the match in the second round, warning that an immediate knockout could make future opponents avoid him. But Case, eager to finish it, ignores the advice and swiftly claims victory. Frustrated with Case's disobedience, the coach resigns after the match. Later that night, Case runs into an old friend and fellow MMA fighter, Brody James, at a nightclub. Brody tells him he's now signed with PFC Combat and introduces him to their marketing director, Micah Cruz. Brody asks Case to train him for an upcoming PFC championship fight in Bangkok against Cesar Braga, a formidable opponent standing 7 feet tall. Case refuses, urging Brody to cancel the match due to Braga's dangerous nature. Still, Brody remains persistent, believing Case needs this as much as he does and tries to pull him back on track. Later, Brody is seen kissing a woman in a parking lot. Suddenly, her husband and another man show up, recording everything before attacking Brody. Sensing it's a setup, Case steps in and knocks the attacker unconscious. The next day, Case hesitantly agrees to help Brody and travels to Thailand. After Brody and Braga arrive, a press conference is held, but things go sideways when a journalist brings up Braga's ex-wife, enraging him. Braga flips a table and later smashes a mirror in the restroom, displaying his volatile nature. Witnessing Braga's fury makes Brody second-guess the fight. Upon arriving in Thailand, Case checks into a modest hotel and stores his belongings before heading to Top Fight Gym, where Brody trains. His arrival isn't warmly received. Brody's coach Matty Ramos and others at the gym seem unwelcoming. Meanwhile, the gym's second strongest fighter, Cobra, is training and easily knocks out his sparring partner. Cobra notices Case training alone and mocks his techniques. Brody then appears and invites Case to spar, but Cobra demands to go first. Case is reluctant but eventually agrees. In the sparring session, Case efficiently disables Cobra with minimal effort, causing injuries that require hospitalization. The next day, PFC Combat President Hugo Vega confronts Case about injuring one of his top fighters and offers him Cobra's spot. Case refuses, not wanting to work under Vega, with whom he shares a troubled past. A rising fighter named Taj volunteers to replace Cobra, but Vega quickly dismisses him after a poor showing. Undeterred, Taj and another fighter, Creech, approach Case and ask him to train them. Case agrees and starts coaching them in basic techniques. That evening, Micah, who seems romantically interested in Case, asks him out. Case accepts and discovers Micah is a single mom to a girl named Morgan. While they spend time together, Maddie secretly watches them and later tells Brody. Meanwhile, Vega suggests Brody takes steroids to enhance his performance against Braga and ensure a recovery period for Braga before his next bout. Later, Maddie tells Brody about Case and Micah's date, which ended awkwardly when Micah mentioned Case's time in prison. That night at the gym, a jealous Brody impulsively challenges Case to a fight. He attacks wildly, and Case is forced to defend himself, ultimately knocking Brody down. Case questions whether Brody has lost control, indicating their friendship is now strained. The next day, Micah apologizes to Case for bringing up his past. That night, Brody and Case have dinner together. Brody apologizes, acknowledges his jealousy, and assures Case that Micah would be a great partner. He also recommits to training hard for the fight. Eventually, Case discovers Brody has taken Vega's advice and is using steroids. Despite this, he continues training Brody with Maddie. As Case and Micah grow closer and start dating, Vega sends one of his men to offer Case a PFC contract, which he rejects. The next day, Case and Brody find fighters at the gym watching a video of Case assaulting a racist cop who had handcuffed someone 2 years prior. The footage goes viral, drawing media attention. To help Case avoid the spotlight, Micah hides him in one of Vega's properties. She tries to convince him to accept the fight, but Case still refuses. When Case returns to the gym, he finds Vega has brought in Boris, a Sambo fighter, to help Brody train, an unnecessary and risky move. As feared, Boris injures Brody's knee during training, sidelining him just days before the fight. Vega then offers Case $1 million to fight Braga. Micah informs Case that Vega seems to have orchestrated Brody's injury. Case investigates and finds a message in Boris's locker from Vega, confirming that Vega ordered the attack. He shares this with Brody, Micah, and the others, realizing he has no choice but to fight. Together, they vow to expose Vega and defeat Braga. Case begins intensive training for the match. On the night of the fight, Micah resigns from Vega's company. The event draws attention from many, including Thai martial arts legend Tony Jaa, who supports Case. In the locker room, Case talks with Brody and comes up with a plan to reveal Vega's corruption. He provokes Braga into attacking him outside the ring, where the fight escalates in front of cameras and the audience. Case takes a beating but taps into Kyokushin karate, breaking Braga's ribs. He finishes the fight with a powerful Katen-Jeri to the head, knocking Braga unconscious. Since the fight ended outside the ring, Vega suffers major financial losses and demands legal action. But Case threatens to expose the evidence of Vega's scheme to injure Brody, which could result in costly lawsuits. In the end, Case, Micah, Brody, and their team leave the arena, victorious and having achieved justice.